after 4 years in office, he finally left yesterday. Another government, another person finally took over, and that also bring an end to 12 years of APC government in the state, because from Aregbesola to Oyetola, they've been in the same party, so they've spent accumulated time of 12 years. So that bring an end to their tenure yesterday as in APC government. But and yesterday, and what is more significant yesterday was that during his acceptance speech, during his inaugural speech, he made some adjustment, as in a significant announcement to me, which is the abolition of state of Osun. He now said he reversed it, that the state should be known now as Osun State instead of state of Osun. And he also said he's going to probe the administration of Oyetola. That is going to probe the administration of Oyetola, which to me, there is nothing.
That's a good beginning.
No, you cannot. It is left to be if it is a good start, or it go the other way around. But what is more important is, as in what an average man in Osun State will benefit from all this, because either you rename the state, or you probe Oyetola. How will it benefit the ordinary man on the street? Is what is necessary. What is, as in what that is what the people of Osun State are looking forward to. The previous administration of Oyetola, as in this incoming administration, the newly sworn administration, they complain bitterly that as in they're supposed to be a formal handover, as in a transition committee between the incoming government and the outgoing. But there was nothing like that, because in that committee you are going to compare notes. You are going to look at the state, as in the state of finance, the finance of the state. You are going to look at how much they are owing contractors, their total debt,
how much is left in the
left in the state account. As in, but it's as if but I think our democracy ought to have, as in, grow beyond advance, because there was not, this thing is nothing, because it's not your father's house. So you are going to live one day. So I wonder why they don't have, why the previous government refused to set up the committee, because in all democracy, it is the committee that will compare notes with what the outgoing committee has achieved in office. As in, they will look at their the
track record of what
the record, what they are owing contractor, as in the amount of money. So they will compare, they will ask questions. But that did not happen. Maybe that is why the governor said he's going to probe, as he's going to look into their account. He's going to, because
he also reversed the appointment by
he reversed the appointment also. He reversed all the appointments that were made after July 15, immediately after the election. That is, anybody that the previous governor appointed, he has his appointment reversed or not. But that one can also be contested in court, because he is still the governor. By the time he made the appointment,
he was the governor before he was sworn in.
Yes. By the time Oyetola made the appointment, he was still the governor then. As in, he was still at the aims of affair of the state there. So it is left to be seen. Maybe because that one can be challenged in court, because if the governor appointed you, as in when he was the governor when he gave you appointment, I think the appointment should stand.
Should still be valid.
Should still be valid, as long as he is still the one that is performing the executive function at time, which the constitution still give him. So I think that one can be challenged, unless it is also a political appointment. Because if it is a political appointment also, a political appointment can be terminated at any time. So, but if it is a civil service appointment, maybe permanent secretary also, it is also left to, as in, maybe the court will determine as in the validity.
Also threatened some permanent secretary, if they approve that appointment, is going to sack or fire them.
You know, 3 days before the expiration of Governor Oyetola tenure, he appointed, like, I think 13 or 10 newly permanent secretary. 3 days to it. I think, for me, personally, I think it is morally wrong. For me, but constitutionally, I don't think it is. Maybe there is nothing, but for me, I think I think it is morally wrong, because this is just the person that will vacate that office in the next 3 days or 2 days, making that kind of appointment. I think you should have waited for the incoming administration to make the appointment. But I think it is morally wrong. But like I also said, these things are just politics. The way we play politics in Nigeria, I don't know. All these things are just politics. Even the person that say he want to probe is also politics. Like what I said previously rather, I think what is more important is how the average man in Osun State benefit from all this. That is what should be paramount to the newly sworn-in governor of the state, because the people of Osun State have higher expectation as far as this administration is concerned, as in the incoming. They have higher expectation, because they thought the incoming administration governor Ademola Adeleke is coming to perform some kind of miracle in the state. So I think the governor should just focus more on those issues, as in on those areas where the people will benefit more, instead of chasing because the more you chase, before you know it, time you don't have the time to it, because there are a lot of things that are agitating the mind of ordinary Osun State indigenous, as in especially the civil servants. They are looking forward to this administration to rectify some of the lapses, some of the inadequacies of the past government, the previous government. So the more you focus on this, because to me, I think all these things are just distractions. The more you focus on this, the more as in you will be wasting more time. So I think he should focus on the area where the people of Osun State will benefit. I wish him good luck in office. I wish him all the best in office, and I wish the people of Osun State
all the best. Yes, thank you, Mr. Edo. Going over to the next newspaper, The Nation newspaper, the lead headline here says 2023, another attack on INEC office raises concerns over poll. Well, there have been several attacks on INEC offices. Like there was one in Osun? Yes, but this one is in Ebonyi State.
I think the previous, as in last week, the Inspector General of Police order reinforcement of security across the INEC office. Does it mean that they are not active, or they do not comply with the directive of the IG? There was also a report that FG will draft they will draft soldiers, military into those INEC offices. Does it mean that it has not been affected as in the directive? Because if you draft soldiers, you draft policemen and other relevant security, does it mean that these hoodlums, as in the all these asonis, they have power more than the security agencies? Maybe they've not been drafted. Maybe the directive have not been complied with. But I think we should do more, as in to secure these offices. I don't think
because there are so many damages. Ballot
box, and these are the material that will be used during the next year poll, and it's quite discouraging, because we are just 2 months to the poll. So all these things, I think, is deliberate. For me, I think this thing might be deliberate, as in to just to undermine INEC, as in to unsettle them, to frustrate them. I think it might even maybe there are some forces that doesn't want the election. Yes, because you cannot rule out the fifth columnist, as in people that will try to sabotage the process. I think that the security agencies should do more, because if this trend continue, it will put a question mark to the whole process, because we might not be able to hold the election if we continue seeing damages, because these are the materials that they will be used for the next year poll. If those materials were destroyed, damaged now, that means they have to go back, as in they have to start all over again
getting this material,
as in, which is going to take a lot of time, because this is
the whole thing is, it's very.
I think we are approaching December now. We are just 2 months to the election. So this is not the time. This is not the period for this to be happening. And for me, this is also a distraction to them, because while you are focusing you want to organize a general election, the attention is making sure that arrangements are in top gear. Then you are recording as in this is because this is a setback.
Yes.
Because this thing because those things that have been damaged in Osun, I think the latest one now is in Ebonyi. Yes. All those things we have to be replaced. Yes. I think what is paramount now is INEC and security agencies should work out modalities on how to secure those their offices, not only in one particular, I think across the federation. As in there should be they should map out plans on how to secure those places so that we can have a issue-free election.
Although the IGP of police as Alkali Usman has asked police to fortify all INEC offices across the country.
Yes, that's what I said.
That's what has been. But he said it again, like as if it has.
That means it's turning to a music, as in, because this is not the first time that we've had, as in that we've something like that. The directive like that has been given, that the IGs gave directive to the commissioner of police. I called it 36 to fortify INEC office. Yet we are still recording such things. That was why I said maybe the directive, maybe they are still mapping out strategy on how to enforce the directive. But I think if they are still mapping out strategy, they are still on the plan, maybe they should hasten up the process so that they can deploy relevant security agencies into those places.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Going over to the next headline: federal government bans export of raw gold. The Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Olamilekan Adebite, disclosed on Sunday that the federal government has banned exportation of raw gold, gemstones, and mines. What do you have to say about it?
That means we won't, as in, if they are banning the exportation of raw gold, that means the government is planning to, as in, they are trying to attract investors into those places so that we can have a mining, as in a more mining site, as in where they can mine gold here instead of exporting it to other. I think it is also good because it will create more employment opportunities for people, and it will attract foreign investors to those places. It is, I think, and I think the most important thing also is how to tackle securities in these places, in those mining sites, in the mining sites across the country, because last week, was it last month or so, we had in Niger State, in mining sites in Niger State, we heard that a kidnapper abducted a lot of foreign expatriates. Those who are working there, they abducted them. I think if we really want to attract foreign investors into that place, our number one problem that we must secure, as in we must solve, is to tackle security. As long as we improve on security, as long as those people that are coming from outside, the investors that are bringing their money, they know that their lives and their investment will be secure in those places. They will bring their investment, they will bring their money. But if we fail to secure these places, those mining sites, it will be difficult for federal government, as in to attract investors into those places. Banning the exportation of raw gold, I think it is a well thought out policy. Before the federal government will come out and disclose it, they might have looked at the pros and the cons, as in the advantage and the disadvantage.
Yes, you were trying to compare it to that of crude oil.
Yes,
and how we have mismanaged.
Yes. So I think they might have looked at the pros and the cons, and before settling for the banning of raw gold, maybe exportation. So let's see how we are going to attract investment into those sectors, because we need all the investment we need. The more we attract investor into this sector, the more we are able, as in to generate employment for our people. Because if our people are employed, that's another way to also tackle insecurity. As in, if our people are employed, they are productive. They are productive. You will not see people on the street as engaging in relevant things. So the more we try to attract investors, the more employment opportunity.
And do we believe that Nigeria is capable of processing these
raw
materials to?
Why? We have presently we have a mining a gold mining site, as in where they are producing gold in Osun State.
Yeah, even Kano too.
Even here. So why? The most important thing is to pump, as in to pump money, as in into that sector. When you pump money into that sector, when you bring in money, see, this country is blessed. The country is blessed with abundant human and natural resources everywhere.
Yes.
What we only need is to get relevant investors to improve on our security and get good leadership, so that everybody can enjoy the country. The country is blessed.
Yes, exactly.
So the more, if like I said before, the federal government will come out with this policy, they might have looked at the pros and the cons, and before they settle for the ban for the ban. So I think it's good for the system if only if we do what is right.
Yeah. Thank you. Going over to the next newspaper, the Daily Independent newspaper. CBN considers regulation to prohibit large withdrawals. The Central Bank of Nigeria has considered regulation to prohibit large withdrawals after the redesigning of Naira. How do you think this is going to be?
That means
possible?
we are going to, as in the current, with the current limit now, I think a daily is 5 million.
Yeah.
You cannot withdraw more than
5. The transaction. That is for
withdrawal.
Individuals. Yes.
Individual.
But if it's companies and rest of 10 million.
If it is company, it's 10 million. If it is individual, it's 5 million. That now they are considering of lifting the ban.
Yes.
That means there will be more money in circulation.
No, not really. Lifting the ban in circulation, boy, it's going to be like turning it into e-Naira. You have to do that in transfer instead of holding cash. So it's going to be a cashless transaction.
That means we are going cashless now.
Yes, we are going cashless now.
All this policy to me, you see, from one policy today to another, it's as if it's confusing, but
it's just to discourage large cash transactions.
I think it's just to discourage large movement of money,
yes, unlike the other world.
Unlike, so that you won't be able to carry a large volume of money around.
Carry 1,000 as the highest currency is going to be reduced. Just like the way you see it in US, $100.
That means we can only use the lower denominations. Yes. Let's see how it pans out. All these things can be very, very confusing. But beyond that, let's see how it's going to affect. Like I always said, every decision, as in the most important thing is how will it affect the ordinary man on the street? How will it improve the economy? How will it add more value to the currency?
Yeah, it's going to add, since there will not be much circulation.
If it's going to add more value to the currency, it's good. If it's going to improve the economy, it's good. All these things is good. Let's see how it's going to affect the economy.
Yes, we want to become more advanced like other countries.
Yes, I quite understand. Transaction instead of moving with large volume of money.
Now you're just having the highest denomination now
is 1,000,
and then you're moving around with 1,000. So instead of moving around with 1,000,
you can carry the lower denomination
for day-to-day activities.
Why that one will be?
Yes, will be kept. So instead of going to shops and the rest of them with 1,000, taking change of 800,
you can just use the lower denomination
for something
for
like
transaction.
that. For transaction. But if it comes to e-transaction, you can
use the. I think it's good. It's good, and let's see how this. Well, the CBN did not give exact time on when they are starting this new policy.
It's all going to start by January.
By January 31st, when
the old currency will
be phased out.
So anybody who is having the old currency would have to just burn it after January 31st.
In Nigeria,
we are really eager
I don't think Nigeria will wait till then. You will burn your money. You have. I don't think any person. I don't think anybody will wait till January 15th so that you'll be able to. Why will you burn your money? You rather rush to bank and go and change it.
It is talking to people that have money.
Only people that have.
Like you saw the video of a trendy video of a decayed money.
A decayed, yeah. A decayed money that termite has even eaten.
I mean, seriously.
It's people that have large.
Like you, Mr. Patrick.
No, it's people that have large amount of money that will be doing that.
No, like you, Mr. Patrick. I think you too. You also have that kind of large money. This is why you're saying you don't want to burn it. You want to go to the bank.
I wish. I wish you.
Well, going over to the next headline here. Federal government extends Abuja Kaduna train service resumption. I think I discussed this here with you that they were going to resume early this month, so they have postponed it again.
Maybe they are trying to perfect the whole process, because it's not something like, we've discussed it before, that it's not something that you just rush and start. It's something that you have to put a lot of things into consideration based on what happened, based on the previous that sad event. So it's something that you have to plan and put in. You make sure that you don't just rush this kind of a thing. So you have to put in adequate measures so that what happened the last time will not repeat itself again. So maybe they've not perfect those plans. And one of the measures that the Nigeria Railway Corporation now says is that before you board the plane, the train, you have to have your name, your national identification number, and if you don't have a phone, you cannot board the train. I think it's also part of the measures they are looking at towards, so that you can, because there are some reports that people during that last incident, it's as if the terrorists, they have someone inside that is giving them an insider. So maybe they are trying to perfect, as in to make sure that by the time they come on board, they will be able to move as in perfectly. So
because I was also curious that the whole attention is going over to the boarding instead of the route.
The route.
Yes, because that was where the problem, not the attack didn't come from inside.
Yes, now that now the Minister of Transportation said that they are looking towards having a perimeter fence along that route, along the Kaduna train, as in they will build a perimeter fence so that you cannot just jump over. As in, even and there will be something like a CCTV. Apart from CCTV, there will be a sensor that even the train will be able to dictate if someone is ahead. As in, if someone maybe like 100 meters away, the train will be able to detect someone. Yes, so that maybe all these things they are still trying to make sure that all these things are put in order, so that by the time they come on board, they will be able to move perfectly. But I think what is more important also is how it's not only lip service, as in we just be saying it. By the time this train come on board, by the time they finally resume, we don't, as in we want them to put adequate measures in place. We don't want to hear that they've not something, they are still on it while people are boarding, so that we will not have excuse again, so that we have a issue-free train services. And I hope that it will not take so much time before they resume service along that
week after
ahead, maybe, so that because December seems to be approaching fast.
The increase of the fares.
See,
I think that's very discouraging.
It's not discouraging. I don't think it's discouraging, because let's be realistic. There is nothing is free all over the world. There is nothing that is free. If you want to enjoy, as in want to enjoy those luxury, you have to pay for it. There is nothing that is free.
But is there supposed to be subsidy since it's coming from the federal government?
Federal government, I don't think is. I also think it's our, maybe by the way we are, as in this country, the way we look at government. They are not, these things are not Father Christmas. Let's not forget that the money that was used to build this thing was a loan from China. It was the federal government borrowed. They have to pay this thing back. Exactly. If government decide to go along that part of doing subsidies, when will they be able to raise money to pay back those loans, the money that they borrowed,
especially with the 8 months?
Yes. So we should not take all these things for granted. But the most important thing, I think what we should focus on is the service you are getting. If you are paying 2,500 naira and you are getting, as in that service, you are getting what you paid for, as in you get the value for your money. What is wrong there? What is wrong? Even if you are boarding Kaduna if you want to follow the road, you can from Abuja to Kaduna. I think it's almost 2K. 2K. So how much is the train collecting? If you put it beside each other and look at it, you will know that. And and it's not you have an alternative. It's not that there is no alternative. You have alternative to go and follow road. So this thing is,
you are saying we should take if we can't afford
if you can't afford it, you follow the road because there is alternative, because this thing the government has to pay for it. That is just it. Nowhere in the world federal government is not a father Christmas. So we just have to, like I said, the most important thing is to get the service, to get the value for the service.
Although we are eager to start,
everybody is eager so that service will return will return to that route.
Well, going over to the next newspaper, the Al Jazeera newspaper. The top headline here says World Cup violence in Belgium over 2-0 defeat. Well, yesterday Belgium and Morocco had a match, and then Morocco defeated Belgium, and that caused kind
violence
of
violence in Brussels. Yesterday it was a tough match. It was a tough match for the Moroccans and the Belgians also. But football sometimes everybody was expecting Belgium will defeat Morocco because Belgium is a powerhouse. They have the world-class football players all over, and the Morocco are the underdog. So, but trust football. Moroccans, nothing is impossible. They defeated them. But beyond that, I think the major news is the violence that broke out in Brussels. And if you recall, Belgium they have large number of immigrants, especially the Moroccans, people from North America. So maybe I think it's just emotional thing. Football can be crazy sometimes, but I think the good aspect of it is that the police were able to curtail the crisis yesterday. They put everything under control. They did not allow it to escalate before normalcy work was finally restored back. I think they will get over it in time.
It's a plus for Africa.
It's a plus for Africa that yesterday we finally won the first match. Though we've played draw before, Tunisia has played draw, but yesterday Morocco finally gave us our first victory. So we look forward to the next match.
There was a celebration in Morocco, and then
I think like I said earlier, it might be just emotional thing. When you see the Moroccans celebrating in your presence and you are the Belgians, as in you feel like as in it's just emotional. It can happen anywhere. But like I said, the most important thing is the security agency, the police in Belgium, they were able to put everything under control. They did not allow it to escalate, to go beyond the normal fiscal. So yesterday they were able to put it under control, and normalcy has since returned to Belgium. So it can happen everywhere. It's football. This thing is emotion.
We are looking for more shocking defeats in this World Cup.
There are still a lot of matches coming up. There will be upset also. That's football. That's football. So let's see how it pans. I hope you are enjoying the World Cup.
Yes, I am.
Are you watching it?
Yes,
I am. How many one now?
Have I watched? We'll talk about that later.
No, let's talk about it now.
No, later.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick, for joining us today. Thank you, viewers, for joining us today. Join us tomorrow for another edition. And don't forget to visit our website at www.abujacitijournal.com, and also our social media handles at Abuja City Journal on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time.